But I personally think, like, for the dollar for the United States, I think the good outweighs the bad simply because USDC, which it seems like that could be the CBDC, you never know. They're the compliant stablecoin. They can blacklist addresses. So if other countries want to get access to USDC, they can have them go through different KYC. And now the United States have data on global participants. And that's one thing. The second thing is, from a supply and demand standpoint, I feel like it can help us increase our global reserve currency status if we do things like getting treasuries on the blockchain and getting allowing people who have super hyperinflated currencies, like people in Argentina and Africa, to get access to stable coins, and then they can use those stable coins as collateral to borrow. If treasuries are on the blockchain, they can use treasury, which is the dominant form of collateral in the world. But it's like China owns a lot of, or most of, our treasuries. I think China and Japan. But you can't just be like an average person and get access to treasuries. So if treasuries are on the blockchain, you make people go through KYC, and now they can use those treasuries as collateral. Now, as more people holding our debt, and it just makes the dollar more sticky, in my opinion, and it helps them be able to track everything. So in my view, current view, and obviously I'm learning more every day, so hey, there's a chance that I'm wrong. It seems like it can make the dollar more sticky. But
I think that what it was going to be implemented in these CBDC systems, because essentially what the government wants to do is implement some sort of like CBDC. Obviously, I think that we could see something where a private entity, private banking conglomerate issues a private CBDC. So it won't be like a CBDC, but it'll be like a government approved US dollar derivative cryptocurrency, right? And it's approved. It's like, we get the blessing of the federal government, and it's allowed to be exchanged, held by major banks. We're going to start to see it implemented into, banks will have you can go to your app and you can, like when you click to pay, you can click to pay with crypto, stuff like that. Like I could see that become a thing. But I think what the government really wants is like a CBDC. And when you do a CBDC, there are really two main methods to it. And it's essentially like you either do an account-based CBDC or a token-based CBDC. And the difference has to do with what aspect of the CBDC is being like tracked and is in the exchange. Like, are you exchanging tokens where the token is the thing being tracked? Or are you exchanging using accounts where the accounts are the thing being tracked? And the accounts are the node around which, everything kind of revolves around. Doing token-based CBDCs would make it so that you can still run pseudonymous accounts. And for security reasons, the government does not like the idea of pseudonymous transactions. They would much prefer an account-based system that wouldn't allow for pseudo-anonymity. They would like it to not allow for that, and instead basically implement like a KYC system if you want to transact using CBDCs. That's what they would like. They would like KYC for transacting with CBDCs. If you read what the Biden administration issued regarding digital currencies, this is essentially what they said. They said that, and if you read that, they had a white paper also on like what they would do, how they would make a CBDC, and it would essentially be an account-based wholesale, meaning selling to banks, and then banks are the ones that then give it to consumers. So it'd be wholesale, account-based, pretty high level, not something that you would be dealing with, and not something that you'd be dealing with in the way that we deal with crypto, where it's all tokenized. They don't like tokenized as of yet. That could change. I would like it to change. And there are ideas of doing what are called like democratic CBDCs. And a democratic CBDC would essentially be a dollar, like, physical currency dollar, like CBDC, where it allows for anonymity, it allows for tokenization, all these different things. I don't know if we're going to implement something like that, but we'll see. That'd be the best case scenario. Is implementing some sort of pro democracy thing, whatever, as long as it allows for tokenization, anonymity, so on and so forth.
Yeah, I feel like whatever version of CBDC it is or ends up being, it's going to be something that seems like is good for us. So there's definitely going to be some perks because they don't want people to just hate it. But I do feel like the whole underlying point of it is so that they can have control and be able to better regulate the economy, doing things like, hey, I've dropped this money in your account. You have this so much time to spend it. If you don't spend it, it's gone.
Bro,
So
that's what China does.
Control the velocity of money. But I feel like the US would do it like in a more friendly way. Yeah, man, because this is stuff is just getting more and more digital. The desire to control is not decreasing by any means, especially in this current time where it's like shit's kind of effed up. So I don't know, man. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
We'll see.